Hi, Brandy Patterson here, abstract artist. I want to show you today how I use a scrapbook to help me generate new ideas for my next paintings. I just finished a little mini session in the last couple of weeks of working through sketchbook paper and exploring and playing just for fun, just for the enjoyment of it, not to create a product or pushing for a finished result. And so today I went into the studio. It was covered in papers, gone through the artwork, and there's a stack of papers that is a no pile. The image isn't working for me, it's not speaking to me. No, no. And I just make a pile of it. And then the images that do speak to me, there's something about them that's grabbing me. Maybe it's the composition or the way I made a mark or the color combination that I put together. I've got a stack of that as well. And then what I do after that, I'm going to show a little bit, is maybe this is helpful for you if you are especially if you're a new beginning artist and you're trying to figure out what's my style, what's my voice. Like, I like so many things, I don't know what to focus on next. And instead of just getting sucked into a social media vortex, getting sucked into a social media vortex, actually closing out external voices and really letting your intuition come out. And this is the one way that I do that. So let me share. Here's my stack of sketchbook paper. As you can see, there's quite a lot here. If you're hearing anything, here's how I help develop my artistic voice and my next set of artwork, and how I look for themes and imagery and mark making that is more like me. And I highly recommend, if you're trying to develop your artistic voice and get stronger in what you want to say and how you want to represent it and what feels more genuinely you, then I would get yourself a scrapbook. It can be a photo album, it can be an actual sketchbook with lots of pages in it. Nothing fancy. You can paint this, you can cover it with material, or just leave as is. Work either on loose leaf paper or inside the sketchbook. That's totally up to you. Or get your images and print them out and cut them out and place them in. And what I have done for the last couple weeks, I've been working on loose leaf paper quickly with very limited supplies, and quickly working through them, making a pile of what I like and what I don't like, but not over analyzing in the moment of making, just making rapidly and intuitively with limited supplies. Then I go back and I've gone through and I've made a stack of images that I want to put in my sketchbook. So what I am using to glue them in is, I have a huge jar left over of Elmer's glue. That's what I'm using right now. You could use gel medium, you could use gloss medium, you could tape them in, stitch them in, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to use glue because that's what I have an abundance of right now. I would definitely recommend a pair of scissors. And something, could be a scraper, could be a piece of cardboard, could be a piece of wood, to help scrape the paper down so it adheres better into the scrapbook when you're working. Let me show you what I've been working on, and then we can do one of these together. Been working on these. Some of these, this one is done directly in the scrapbook, and on the other page I have written notes as I've been working. And the other ones I've worked on loose pieces of paper, and I've come in and I've pasted them into the sketchbook. Later I'll actually go back in with a pencil or a pen and make notes alongside what it is that I really like about each piece and what it is that I want to carry over into my next set of paintings, creative work. Notice that I have kept really limited colors and palettes and materials. I had about 5 materials I was using: some paint sticks, piece of charcoal, like 1 paintbrush, and allowing myself to explore with limitations. If the paper doesn't fit exactly into the book that you have, you can fold it down, so then when you come back in to look later, you can actually view the full image like I have done here. Or if you find that you don't want to fold it down, this one I have folded down as well, you don't want to fold it down, you can do like I've also done, and is cut the image from the scrap piece of paper to fit in your sketchbook. It really depends on what it is that you're wanting to remember for later when you come back in and reference your work. So here, I didn't want to cut the edge off, so I actually folded it over. So I get to see the full image that I had done on this piece of paper. Just like here, I didn't want to cut it, I want to actually get the full image in here. So here I have a blank piece of paper, and this is the image that I'm wanting to work with. As you can see, it was in another sketchbook and I've ripped it out. I may or may not want all of the image. I might only want to capture the top part of this or the lower part of this. Maybe I want it to be placed in here like this, and I can actually see the full image as it goes across the page. That could be a really interesting way of documenting your work as well, in having it go across the page and make notes over here instead of always doing it vertically on the sketchbook. But what I actually really want to look for is the areas that I find the most interest in when I'm working. And that's where the scissors come in handy. So I might go, okay, that looks like an interesting image on that section. Or I actually only want the top part of this image or the bottom part of this image. And the more that I look at it, I actually like it cut about right there in half. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't have to keep the full thing. I get to make the decisions. I make rules, and I get to break them. What I'm looking for is the tidbits that show what is next creatively. What really is making me get excited when I look at an image, and what is it that I want to carry over into my work. So this doesn't fill the whole page, so what I might do is place it off to the side so I have space to write around the edges and take notes. Sometimes as I'm working, I realize when I first initially really liked the image, when I did the first sorting through, when I had multiple pieces of paper and I'm sorting through piles really quickly, I come back to it sometimes a few days later and I realize it's not actually as empowering and as moving as maybe I thought it was. And I don't have to keep this piece of paper, even though initially I thought something about it was interesting. I maybe realize, no, that's not actually
enjoyed this little tip into developing your style as an artist, click like, subscribe, leave a comment, and you can always join my free newsletter that I send out periodically. I'll send tips, ideas, my thoughts, but most importantly, that's where you get access to new artwork when I release it or when I am running a kind of pop-up studio summer sale online, and you get premier access to that content before it's even available to other people. So that link will be down below as well. And enjoy the day, and let's make some art together.